You hold the glass spice grinder, you sprinkle sparkling pink salt crystals onto your plate, you watch them melt, you smile, you think you are choosing purity. You believe you are investing in your health. That ancient rock salt looks incredibly expensive, but the truth is, you are voluntarily stripping away your own armor, a critical biological shield of your body. That glamorous jar sits proudly in your kitchen. It is completely empty of the single micronutrient that once reshaped entire civilizations. A mineral that salvaged human intellect. You happily pay 10 times more for a trendy spice, only to quietly trade it for biological regression. It is a cruel paradox of our time. Why did governments decades ago launch massive campaigns? They forced every citizen to consume a specific type of salt, an unprecedented medical intervention. And why now, when society is at its peak? Are you willingly throwing it into the trash? Your skepticism is entirely misplaced. Why is the food industry designed to control your consumer behavior? Step into a supermarket. Look up at the glittering shelves. The brutal truth has been carefully concealed, hidden beneath fake health labels. I will put the historical medical files on the table to expose this machine of manipulation. The first piece of evidence lies with the National Bureau of Economic Research. They conducted a massive investigation. They dug up draft records from 2 world wars. The results exposed a monumental intervention. Adding iodine to table salt did not just cure diseases, it rewired the brain. It increased the average IQ by 3.5 points for the entire US population in rural areas suffering from severe nutrient deprivation. The increase skyrocketed to 15 IQ points. America literally bought 180 million IQ points for its citizens, with an incredibly cheap medical solution. But that miracle is being destroyed. The second piece of evidence exposes a new crisis. A report by the World Health Organization sounds the alarm. Despite glorious victories in the past, today about 1 billion people globally face the risk of iodine deficiency. The disease is returning to the most developed nations. The core cause does not lie in nature, it lies in the industrial production system. Food corporations use massive amounts of sodium in canned goods, but they never use iodized salt. They use standard industrial salt. The sole purpose is to optimize profit margins. The survival of your cells is not included in their financial reports. The third piece of evidence strips away a glamorous trend. A study measured micronutrient concentrations in plant-based milks: oat milk, almond milk, soy milk. The results reveal a massive nutritional void. They contain less than 2% of the iodine compared to traditional cow's milk. The iodine in cow's milk originally comes from animal feed. When you reject old agriculture, you accidentally sever a vital mineral supply line. The hidden mechanism behind this decline is an invisible architecture of manipulation, a perfect system that preys on the arrogance of the middle class. It uses addictive marketing keywords: vegan, natural sea salt, unrefined. You are dragged into that vortex. You diligently buy expensive cognitive development courses. You train your children's intelligence using the most modern methods, but you forget a core physical foundation. The single micronutrient that dictates the processing speed of neurons is gradually being eradicated from your dining table. You chew a fragrant piece of industrial bread. You swallow a conveniently packaged sausage. Your body is immediately flooded with toxic levels of sodium. Your blood pressure is pushed high, but the iodine required for your thyroid to regulate metabolism is exactly 0. You drink a refreshing sip of nut milk every morning. You delude yourself that your body is being purified. But in reality, with every mouthful of liquid you swallow, you force your thyroid to strain itself in a state of absolute starvation. This profitable consumer system is not designed to optimize your cognition. They are designed to drain your wallet. A micronutrient deficiency does not erupt immediately into severe pain. It will not put you in the hospital tomorrow. It gnaws at your cells silently. It creates persistent brain fog. It slows down your reflex speed. It destroys your focus day after day. Although switching to expensive natural salts is a global trend, the arguments defending this movement carry fatal biological risks. Perhaps you will immediately argue against this data system. You will look at me and say, I do not need that cheap white salt. I eat plenty of seaweed. I consume seafood weekly. I can even take daily supplements. That is an incredibly common defensive thought, a mindset that seems highly logical. But clinical science points to a reality that is far more brutal. The natural iodine content existing in seafood fluctuates wildly. It is never uniform. It depends entirely on the harvesting ocean region. It shifts with ocean currents and seasons. You can never accurately measure the dosage entering your body. And what about supplements? Absorbing minerals through the digestive tract via pills does not always achieve optimal efficiency. Furthermore, maintaining a daily habit of taking expensive pills is an incredibly fragile defense mechanism. It is easily broken by a busy schedule. Many sophisticated culinary experts often complain about chemical intervention. They loudly claim that iodized salt leaves a highly unpleasant metallic taste, ruining the texture of the dish. However, independent scientific analyses have ruthlessly exposed this lie at the extremely low supplementary concentrations mandated by health authorities. The human tongue simply lacks the biological sensitivity to detect the difference. You cannot taste it. The biggest barrier does not reside in your taste buds. It resides in psychological suggestion. That suggestion is deliberately implanted. It is a product of massive marketing campaigns by premium salt corporations. The truth about iodized salt brings us an incredibly cold reminder. Your skepticism is often guided by the system and entirely misplaced. You scrutinize every microscopic chemical preservative printed on the label. You lose sleep over artificial additives, but you casually ignore the disappearance of an element that constructs human thought. The fierce medical crisis of a century ago never truly ended. It simply retreated into the shadows and waits patiently, waiting for you to voluntarily strip off your final layer of defensive armor. Turn around and carefully observe your kitchen. Next time, when you pick up a jar of spice to season your food, remember this carefully. You are not just calculating the flavor for a dinner. You are quantifying the sharpness of your entire nervous system. Do not let your own family's intellect be eroded in vain. Choose protection based on scientific evidence.